But when it comes to motivation, it's really more of like how you feel. When you're not feeling like it, you don't have the motivation to do it, you just don't do it. So that makes discipline much more sustainable, and motivation Hi guys, I'm Annette and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome for the first time. On this channel, I basically just talk about my personal growth, fitness, and business, entrepreneurship. So it's basically a whole bunch of just me growing and challenging myself. In this video, we are gonna be discussing how I practice discipline and how I'm trying to implement it more in my life. Practicing discipline has helped me in my fitness, nutrition, and even school. I am currently still trying to master discipline and just get better at doing things without like overthinking them and make things a routine. Continue watching if you want to also implement discipline in your life and just become more efficient. Discipline is a skill that has impacted me personally in different areas, not just fitness. I'm gonna share with you guys the actual definition that I found on Google of what discipline is. After that, I'm going to share what discipline means to me and the definition that I go by. Discipline is the practice of training people to obey rules or code of behavior using punishment to correct disobedience. The definition that I wrote down that I go by is discipline is a consistent action towards a long-term goal even when motivation is low. If you know discipline, you know it's like almost like a structure of like what you want to do, and then you just follow that structure like no matter what. But when it comes to motivation, it's really more of like how you feel, you know, and when you're not feeling like it, you don't have the motivation to do it, you just don't do it. So that makes discipline much more sustainable and motivation very momentarily. With motivation, you really never know what you're gonna get in a day or like how you're gonna go about a day, because you're just going off of like how you're feeling. And if you're not feeling like it, no matter like what you wrote down, this and that, you're just gonna go ahead and sleep. Let's say you had like a whole 8 hours of sleep, you know you have the energy and everything, but you wake up and you don't feel like it, so you stay in the bed because it's more comfortable to stay in bed on your off day and scroll on your phone when you could be doing something that gets you closer to your goal. With discipline, you should be able to get to that goal depending on like what small steps you have set for yourself. I set up 3 bullet points of things that you need to know to better understand discipline, and obviously if you understand it better, then you can implement it better. Number 1, create systems. Number 2, gradually push your limits. And number 3, avoid setbacks. So creating systems is basically not relying on willpower, not relying on like whether you feel or have the will to do it today, but just going by the system you have set up and just following that system, that routine, no matter what. An example of this is like having a system that you set for yourself on the times that you want to maybe study. If you're a student, obviously you would rather study throughout the week a smaller amount of times, like let's say 1 hour a day, rather than push it until like the last day of the week to go and try to study every single thing at one time. As a student, like I think a lot of us, unless you have went in there just head on knowing everything, you have fallen for like not having like a plan on like studying and everything, and you keep pushing everything back, procrastinating, and then at the end of the day you're like, damn, I didn't get anything done yet, and now you have to do everything at once. Creating a system avoids that. You will go by that system. It don't matter like how your day is going, you will have that set time to do that one thing that you said you wanted to do. It's much more organized. You won't be like all over trying to like create a system as you go before you even start like this project that you have going on. When you set up a plan or a system of how you want to do everything, you just have to do it. You don't have to overthink how to do this, how to do that. It's already set up for you. You just need to execute the plan. gradually push your limits. This to me is basically changing little habits one step at a time. As you're learning who you are and how you function, gradually change like little things instead of like trying to do everything at once when you know you just started. Like you haven't done this task before, so of course you're gonna learn how it works for you, and if you need to change different things depending on who you are, then you can do that. Little small things would add up over time. Just be patient, because obviously if you're doing small changes, it's not gonna seem like you're doing a lot. If you want to start being healthier, you can start with a small change, with like maybe just drinking a glass of water in the morning. It seems small, but at the same time, like this is something that you are not doing before. If you are in the gym, don't try to pick up the heaviest weight on the first day. You can try to challenge yourself and do that and start from there, but usually like when you start small and the next day you add on like 25, and the next day you add on 5, the next day you add on 5, seems like you're not adding as much, but next thing you know, you're not carrying 25, now you're carrying 45. And I'm talking about women, because as for me, I don't carry like heavy weight. I'm not a weightlifter. I'm just a normal gym girl. Like I'm not out here carrying the heaviest stuff, but I do like try to strengthen myself and try to challenge myself to what I can do. So I used to do hip thrust with just 25 before, and that was a big deal. And now I do 45 like it's nothing. Like I know I can add more. I don't add more like as often as I should, but just from adding more and being consistent, I have been able to now do 45 like it's nothing. And I know it's like 45 plus 45. It's not just 45 by itself. I'm saying like on one side, my highest basically used to be 50 and now it's 90, just from adding on weights over time. I remember I was in the gym doing like a 35 one time, and I thought that was like my limit. I could do it with no problem. Like I was going up down doing like hip thrust and everything, and this girl came and she was like, girl, you can do more than that. And I was like, I probably could, but I don't want to try. And she was like, no, for real, like the way you're doing it, you can definitely do more. So since then, like I just added more, and I was like, wow, I can actually do more. Push your limits. Try and see what more you can do. If you only do 2 hours a day of studying and that's all you've tried, and you think that's your limit, try 3 hours and see like how much you're gonna get done in 3 hours and what difference that makes, like how you understand the material. And in the gym, this will apply to like how many hours you're in the gym. You know, if you've been doing 30 minutes, you can try 1 hour and see how that goes, like how you feel, how much you got done. For me, when I used to do like 30 minutes in the gym, I used to feel like I was rushed and I never really did everything that I wanted to do. And then I changed it to 1 hour, and now like it feels much better. I get much more done, and I even get my stretch in. Everything is smooth. And if you make it 1 hour and 30 minutes, it's even much easier. Avoiding setbacks. If you have this system that you have set, if you just keep following it, you're not gonna just find yourself like a week, a month without doing anything, because that is literally your routine. There's this quote that is related to this. Once you stop, it's usually hard to start again. No matter how hard it gets, don't stop until you're done. If you're doing a task and you stop or give up, it's harder to like gain back the momentum to actually continue, or the motivation in general. Now something that you could have finished in 30 minutes is taking you a whole 2 days. Don't just stop in the middle or get distracted, especially with like social media nowadays. Sometimes it helps me when I will turn off my phone when I'm about to like study, or in the gym, I will put my phone away. I don't know about you, but for me, I used to get so distracted with my phone. I would be in the gym for 2 hours when I'm supposed to be in there for only 1 hour. To avoid that, I just stopped being on my phone. I will stay on my notepad so I can look at my schedule and what I'm doing next. But in general, I will keep my phone in my backpack, just closed up, and go from one task to the next without being in my phone too much. When it comes to studying, I literally just turn off my whole phone off. There's no point of it being on, because even like somebody calling me when I'm studying, that also used to distract me. Like I would have this whole thing that I need to be doing, and I'm studying, and then somebody calls me and I'll be on the phone for a whole hour or 2, even 3. I have found just putting my phone away has helped me so much. By the end of the day, I would have more time to do fun things and be on my phone without guilt, because I've actually studied, I have done what I needed to do. Avoid distractions, and that can be anything. Also, notice when there is a distraction. I watched this one video one time and it was talking about how like you can always study. So like, of course, when somebody like comes up to you, your friend comes up to you and you're studying or something, talking to them and having this quality time is much better, because when you're studying, you usually have a break anyway. So if your friend comes up to you and you're in the middle of studying, you shouldn't be like, oh, get away from me, I'm studying. No, like you can have that break at that time. That's how I usually take it. Like if somebody comes up to me, I can talk to them for a little bit. I will take that as my break, and then after they're gone, I continue studying. But I do notice when there's a distraction and I try to avoid it as much as possible. Like there's always something to talk about, there's always something to do with your friends. It will be so random, oh, let's go eat, let's go do that. Sometimes I will go to the library to study where there's no distractions at all, and then when I'm done studying, I go downstairs and I hang out with my friends, because you know, I'm done with what I needed to do and I have all the time to talk. You're not rushing trying to leave your friends, you're really just chilling and taking your break. Where can one start when they want to start implementing discipline in their life? Create realistic goals and achievable goals. Find a way to hold yourself accountable, whether it's gonna be a friend, a social media platform, your mother, whoever it is, and then create a routine that supports your goal. For most of us, you'll be knowing when you're setting up unrealistic goals. Depending on who you are and what your job is, what your day-to-day is like, that's what's gonna determine like the kind of goals you can set for yourself. So obviously, if you are a student or you have a full-time job, you have to consider that when you're setting all these goals for yourself. Starting with small goals that you know you can achieve is much better and less overwhelming. Last year, 2024, I set myself a goal of reading the whole Bible in 1 year. When I was reading more than one chapter a day, I started to notice that I was not understanding everything very well, you know, because I was just going through it. I was going very fast. In the Bible, there's like a lot of books. So that goal was very unrealistic. I had to change it to maybe 2 years. Now I can actually go slow by slow, read maybe a chapter instead of 3 chapters a day. Keeping yourself accountable is so important with discipline, because if you're setting goals and you're not coming back to review whether you've done them or not, you would even forget about them. There's some people that write their whole day down, like what they want to do. I'm one of those people. Like I try to write down my day in the morning, and then I look back at it at the end of the day. And whenever I don't look back at it, I'm not keeping myself accountable. The day just went by and I'm going to bed and I'm not even sure if I did everything I said I was going to do. There's so many ways to keep yourself accountable nowadays. Fitness wise, I created a whole new page just for posting my fitness journey, because I didn't want to be spamming people with my workout videos every single day. So I created one just for fitness that have kept me accountable. If you're not somebody who's shy or you already post, you're comfortable with that, create a fitness page or just post on your normal page, whichever one is better for you. Post whatever you're doing in the gym. Post your before and after. I've seen people who don't post and they go to the gym, they are consistent. So for somebody else, it could be writing it down in a journal. Obviously, if you're looking at that journal, you're gonna be seeing what you did and what you didn't do. And when you look back, you can see the days that you have done. You can use the cross out method, cross out the days that you have worked out. It really depends on you and what works for you. Just find a way to keep yourself accountable so you can actually go back and check and see, what am I doing right? Creating a routine is gonna help with becoming overwhelmed or exhausted with what you're doing. Have a clear structure. An example of this is just like not having a workout routine. So you're just going whenever, working on whatever, whenever you want. That is not very helpful, because you can go any day of the week and it doesn't matter. So set those goals and write them down so it can be very clear what you need to do, instead of just like going with the flow, because you're gonna be all over the place. Find out what works for you and just stay consistent with keeping yourself accountable. Going back, reviewing what you have done and what you need to improve, that helps with that too. Just stay consistent and follow your routine. Track your progress. You will see your results in what you're doing. So we have come to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you are someone who practice discipline or are trying to practice discipline, tell me how it's going for you. And if I forgot something, comment it below so you can help people out and help me out. I would really love the feedback. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.
High volume. Am I really that?